we have gotten some kind of a breaking news update, and it comes to the world of Indian sports and when it comes to hosting multi international tournaments in this particular regard. So, the latest update that we are giving you is that India has expressed its interest. They are wanting to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games that will be held. Now, the Commonwealth Games is one particular event which has kind of gone under the radar for the last couple of years because either the host nations do not see much interest in hosting the Commonwealth Games, or because financially it is not making that much of money. It's not that financially viable when you have to look at all the other major sporting events that are there all over the globe. Now, India is one such nation that has expressed a bid in many ways when you have to look at hosting multiple sporting events. For example, India has openly expressed its bid like, yes, they want to host the 2036 Olympics that's going to happen. But they would also want to host the 2030 Olympics, the 2030 Commonwealth Games that's going to happen. Now, we don't know where the 2030 Commonwealth Games is going to happen because in 2026 it's going to happen in Edinburgh, and then in 2030 you're going to see it potentially happen in India. Now, when was the last time the Commonwealth Games was hosted in India? It was in 2010 in New Delhi. Now, at that time, India had their best ever medals tally ever in the history of the Commonwealth Games, where they almost finished second and they were behind only Australia when you have to look at the medals tally in that edition of the tournament. But then the Commonwealth Games in India in 2010, you all saw the fiasco that it had evolved into. There were multiple scams that were reported, but overall, the organization of the Games changed the very nature of Delhi, and it also changed a lot of major things when it came to infrastructure and technology at this stage. So, after 2026 Edinburgh, you are going to see potentially India host the 2030 Commonwealth Games that is there, that will be held. And after that, maybe in 2036, India could host the Olympics that will be held potentially in Ahmedabad, but there is talk of two, three cities that the Olympics could be played in at that point in time in 2036. Now, India has made a bid to host a lot of multi sport events. I mean, there's also the situation wherein there might be the athletics championships that could be held in India in the near future. You could see some other major tournaments also being held. No date about the Asian Games because the last time the Asian Games was held in India, it was quite a long way back. So that is why Asian Games, when it comes to India, it has been hosted twice in 1951 and 1982. Commonwealth Games was hosted in 2010, and you could see India host the Commonwealth Games in 2030. Olympics, India has never hosted, but there is a serious bid for 2036. The expression of interest has been given. I mean, the proposal to host the Olympic Games, the final deadline was March 31. But apparently, the Indian Federation, the Indian contingent has apparently given the letter about a few days ago. So now we are getting to know that yes, India will host the Commonwealth Games in 2030. That is the bid that has been given. We hope that one day, after a gap of 20 years, it does come back to India. So, yes, the latest breaking news, and people who are tuning in at this point in time, India has expressed interest in hosting the 2030 Commonwealth Games. They have submitted the bid. So now let's see how it pans out. It was the last date was March 31, but apparently it's been submitted a few days ago. So that is the way we are looking at the Commonwealth Games. Could it come back to India after 20 years? Let's see how that pans out. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this update. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.